Hello, my name is Adeladia. Today we are going to look at a Bible chapter and I'm calling it a book review of 1 Samuel chapter 30. Let's discuss 1 Samuel chapter 30 and I'll be using the message version. In verse 4, David and his men burst out in loud wails, wept and wept until they were exhausted. The lesson from here is that it's okay for you to cry as a human being. It's okay for you to cry as a man. It's okay not to be okay. When things make you feel so bad, when you have losses, please, according to scriptures, feel free to cry. There was a time I lost my uncle and I just refused to cry. I was born again then and I felt that Christians shouldn't cry. And I bottled up my tears. But somehow I slumped and I entered a coma. And the doctor told me, "What happened to you?" I said, "I lost my uncle." And he said, "Did you cry?" I said, "No. I just felt that tears is a sign of weakness." And the doctor told me that that's why you got into coma. Next time, feel free to cry. Cry and release your pain. So from this book review, a whole warrior, King David, a whole warrior, he cried when he lost his soldiers' wives, their children, their cattle, even his wife, Abigail, and the other one. He wept. Learn to cry when you're in pain. Okay, let's continue the same book review. 1 Samuel chapter 30. We are going to look at around verse 6. And suddenly David was in even worse trouble. And suddenly David was in even worse trouble. There was talk among the men, bitter over the loss of their families and the thought of stoning him. I wrote here, expect anger from your followers, even when you too have a loss. You are a leader in an organization, you are a leader in a choir, you are a pastor in your church, a bishop. Even sometimes when you yourself have lost your wife, your member that lost his wife will still be angry with you that you did not pray well. So in this chapter review, expect anger from your followers. When you see your followers angry at you, even when you know you yourself have your own problems, but they're angry with you. If you were here, if you were here, my son would not have died. If you were here, and you just lost your own. Expect anger. Don't get angry with yourself when they are angry at you. Okay? Let's continue this chapter review. It's very exciting. The next one is verse 7. Then David prayed to God, "Shall I go after these raiders? Can I catch them?" If we look into the verse before this verse, it says, David strengthened himself with trust in his God. He ordered Abiathar the priest, son of Ahimelech, "Bring me the ephod so I can consult God." And David prayed to God. When you are faced with opposition, especially when you are about losing your followers, especially when you're about losing your staff, don't hesitate to quickly strengthen yourself. It is an error for you to spend time in weakness as a leader. It is an error for you to spend time in weakness as a believer. David was fast enough to jack up strength and trust in God, and immediately he acquired from God. Be fast to seek the face of God. Don't wait 2 days, 3 days. Immediately seek the face of God. That's why some of you easily had followers and staffs that easily rebelled against you and broke out of your organization and started to make products that came into the market and started to compete with you because you wasted time to seek the face of God. Immediately when you notice that words are going out against you, that, oh, you were careless, oh, you were not there, oh, you didn't speak on time, oh, why are we losing this thing? Once you notice those little side talk, jack up your strength on time and seek God and trust God and pray. That's what David did. Let's continue this chapter review. Okay, verse 9. David went, he and the 600 men with him. They arrived at the brook Bessel, where some of them dropped out. Where some of them dropped out, I wrote here, don't force people that no longer want to follow your vision. Don't force people that no longer want to follow your vision. If your church worker stops coming to church and you've done your best in time past, training them how to follow the Lord, once you notice they drop out of church, they don't want to come again, don't kill yourself. Learn how to let people go. If she doesn't want you anymore in the relationship, let her go. Learn not to kill yourself from persons that no longer want to follow your vision. Okay? Let's continue the next line. Verse 11. Some who went on came across. Okay, no. Let's do this other one. Let's do the other one. We said some of them dropped out. David and 400 men kept on the pursuit, but 200 of them were too fatigued to cross the brook Bessel and stayed there. I wrote, leave the tired ones. Some persons believe in your vision, but they are too tired to come to church early. Some people believe in your vision, but they are too tired. They are too tired to follow you. Some persons believe in your vision, but they are too tired to carry your camera. Move on with your vision and leave them alone. Okay? Let us look at the next line. Verse 11. Some who went on came across an Egyptian in the field and took him to David. They gave him bread and he ate, and he drank some water. They gave him a piece of fig cake, a couple of raisin muffins. Life began to revive in him. He hadn't eaten or drank a thing for 3 days and nights. David said to him, who do you belong to? Where are you from? And he said, I'm an Egyptian slave of Amalekite. Who do you belong to and where are you from? Where to learn to ask strangers questions like, who do you belong to? Where are you from? Some leaders have entertained some other persons that came from nowhere into their organization. And because that person looks so agile, strong, and ready to work, they don't ask them questions. Where are you from? Who do you belong to? Someone just comes from nowhere and he says, I've been a pastor in Ghana. He just come to your church and you give him the mic and you let him start preaching, and immediately you ordain him a leader. And you don't ask him questions. Who do you belong to and where are you from? Some of you have brought people into your homes. You have brought people into your businesses. You have brought people into your life. And you didn't ask them, who do you belong to? Where are you from? And because of that, they came into your life and messed it up. Yes, ask questions. Okay, because of time, I am an Egyptian slave of the Amalekite. He said, my master walked off and left me when I got sick. That was 3 days ago. We had raided the blah, blah, blah. Now look at what I want to say here. Don't abandon your weak staffs. Don't abandon that wayward child. Listen, don't abandon that person that has been working with you, or the person became so sick or so not needed. You know why you should not abandon such persons? They are the ones that will give information to your enemies tomorrow about your location, about how they will destroy you. That's your driver that you just sacked anyhow without even paying salary. Be careful. He is the one that will tell everybody all the corners you go to, all the places you get to, and you could be assassinated or killed. Learn to lay off your weak stuff with love, if at all you have to lay them off, whether they are wrong or they are not wrong. Have sense. Let us rush. Let us rush. Let us rush. Verse 15. David asked him, "Can you take us to the raiders? Promise me by God," he said, "that you won't kill me or turn me over to my old master, and I'll take you straight to the raiders." I wrote here, don't expose, don't expose anyone that has given you an information that helped you in life. If someone is the one that tells you that they caught so and so stealing from your organization, and you were able to use that information to help yourself, don't call the name of the person that helped you. Some of you have made mistakes like this. People that helped you to tell you, "Hey, I saw your husband with one side chico. I saw your wife with this person." Oh." By the time you finally settled with your partner, you use that person's head to settle quarrel. According to this chapter review, don't do that. Okay, let us rush, let us rush, let us rush. Because of time, verse 23. Families don't do this sort of thing. "Oh no, my brother," said David as he broke up the argument. "You can't act this way with what God gave us. God kept us safe. He handed over the raiders who attacked us. Who would ever listen to this kind of talk? The share of the one who stays with the gear is the share of the one who fights. Equal share. Share and share alike." From that day on, David made the rule in Israel, and it still is. I want to encourage you, when it's time to share things for your staffs, for your members, for your family, even the ones that really did not work so hard, try your best to give equal share. It has a reason. It has a reason. Don't say, where were you when we're doing this thing? When all of us brought our money into the project, fine, you brought your money, but you didn't show up. You were scared of life. You can't share. Equal share. Scriptures. And lastly, verse 26. On returning to Ziklag, David sent portions of the plunder to the elders of Judah. Learn to take care of the elderly. Learn to take care of the elderly. One of the things that blessed me when my dad died, when my dad was alive and was old, I always took care of him. Learn to take care of the elderly. Learn to take care of the elderly. They can't go to war. They can't go for battles. They don't have much strength. They may not even please you. They may be saying things that are somehow. But learn to always take something for whatever you get, and remember one elderly person in your family or outside your family. I hope you enjoy this book review of 1 Samuel chapter 30 like I did. God bless you. I'll see you on Church Channel.